Carlson talking about how gayness doesn't exist today.
Hasn't been to San Francisco, mate. I was just there.
Well, he was having this conversation with that Milo Yiannopoulos, who now pretends he's not gay. And
does he?
How do we not become the cancellers? How do we navigate that?
I've never wanted to cancel people, but I've also retained the right to say that what they're saying is incredibly stupid. I don't think Tucker Carlson should be cancelled for saying the most moronic stuff about World War II that you could possibly imagine. One of the things he's trying to argue now is that Winston Churchill instigated World War II becoming World War II because Hitler didn't want to dominate Europe. He's just a nice guy and badly misunderstood. And I will defend to the death Tucker's right to say that. I also defend to the death my right to say Tucker Carlson's retarded.
At what point, let's say Tucker Carlson was in a position where he held a job still at Fox News or somewhere like that, at what point would we start posting saying, hey, Fox News, come on, you're hosting this guy with these ridiculous, horrible views to millions of people watching, this is not on. And then would we be guilty of cancel culture in that sense?
He did get rid of him for causing them a lot of trouble with things that he said that turned out not to be true. So
do you think there's a reason for his about turn? There have been several videos showing him saying completely the opposite about literally everything he believes. I know people grow, they develop, they change their mind, but only a year or two ago. Are you suspicious as to the reasons?
Read on Tucker is he made a terrible mistake in pushing the war in Iraq, and he feels guilty about it. And there's a large wing of the American isolationist movement who were people on the right who pushed this war in Iraq. In America, literally everyone went, we've been attacked, we've got to strike back. That was the mood. The mood was very, very jingoistic. America has to stand up for itself, etc. And a lot of people got swept up in that. And if you've then found out what really happened as a consequence of that, and you were a prominent media voice pushing that, I imagine you feel quite guilty about that. Massive overreaction to then say, well, every war that America's ever been involved in is bad, and any war that America might ever be involved in is terrible. Psychologically, where a lot of this stuff comes from. And I love America. Americans genuinely think like anything's possible. You can just go for it. You can start a business. You can start a company. You can start this. You can do this. And I love it. And I go there and I drink it in, and I come back more motivated, more ready to go. But the flip side is, if you think anything's possible, like anything's possible, they're conspiratorial like way more than we are. Tucker Carlson in many ways is just like the guy in the bar that you're going to meet, and he's going to start telling you about aliens before you know it.
That's true. It gets perhaps even more extreme with Candace Owens.
She thinks Brigitte Macron's a man. I don't think Brigitte Macron's a man, right? But Candace Owens keeps going on about it. And then I looked at a photo of Brigitte Macron and I went, I've talked a lot of shit about Candace Owens. I really hope she's wrong about this.